Welcome back to Karandrin Role Playing. It's episode 39 of Brise's Tale. I'm Kevin Manus Pinnings, your host and game master for this evening. And as always, my good buddy Max is here to play Brise, our young, beautiful paladin, and say hello to the lovely people.
Hello, everybody. Hope you're having a warm late February day. Toasty inside, wherever you are, and get ready for some great role playing fun as always.
And let us know, good buddy, where we left off. The excitement from last episode.
Yes, there was a lot that went on. It turned out I had kind of a stressful day, and by dealing with that, I drank a lot and ended up drinking so much that one of the local spies here took advantage of me and drugged me and kind of got some info out of me that could potentially prove dangerous. That was a big event. Aldrif also arrived. My beau for is the best way to put it, I guess. My romantic interest, and that was kind of a fun thing to role play and talk out. Seeing him again after so long, and what else here? The last thing we said is that I left off to try to find a place in the valley where the great eagles could contact me when they come back with more information or more updates on what are the next steps to take against freeing and relocating the demon Kralum. So I've been hiking out on the top of the mountain, or I guess around the mountainside, and an interesting encounter in the last session with a skeletal troll. So we're going to resolve that now. First thing, maybe it'll take the whole session. Maybe maybe I'll die in like 10 seconds.
Exactly.
A lot of things could happen.
Maybe it all goes horribly wrong. So yeah.
Oh man.
It's
I think I got everything. Yeah. And
a
lot of intrigue, a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, the spy was one of the maids in
That's right.
the quarters that Brise has in the Goblin Noble Miagral's keep, her castle up on the mountain. And we know that Miagral is just spying on Brise and her sort of friends, her whole company there, to make sure that they're on the up and up about helping Miagral in her pursuits. Miagral is an elderly goblin woman, noble woman, and she's known to be very cagey. She's known to be very cunning. Not really a bad egg, not really evil, but she doesn't take chances. And so even though she's known, Brise's friend Adabir, who set all of this up, Adabir being a powerful elderly sorcerer, even though they've known each other for a long time, Miagral doesn't take chances. And so they knew there would be spies in the house, but we didn't think they would take such bold action as to take advantage of Brise's intoxication.
That's an interesting thing, to call her and Adabir friends, but obviously, they still do have like spies on him. I guess that's just noble life, That's how it is at that stage.
Right.
Honestly, kind of stressful. I would not like to live like that. I would like to trust my friends.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm to the point in my life where I'm perfectly okay if you lie to me. It's fine. Knock yourself. I mean, it's sad that you think you need to, but I don't care. Go ahead. It can't hurt my feelings. But having
Karandrin is a great game. Yeah.
Yeah. But sorry, a little lingering COVID cough here. But as Max said, Brise went exploring a little bit to try to find a place where he might interact with the eagles without being seen by the locals, who consider the eagles an ill omen and will shoot at them. And in doing so, rolled a random encounter that was way off the charts. So let's get right into it. It's mid-afternoon. He is lower down on the slope. He is himself, I mean, he's easily 15, 20 feet high. He is enormous. He is the largest troll you've ever seen. And all skeletal. He is armed. We talked about him having he has a pouch, a ragged sort of bag of javelins hanging at his back that he probably throws like toothpicks. And
uses as toothpicks.
That's right. And he has a hand axe that he just, holds very, a battle axe that he holds very casually in one hand. There is because of the slope, you are eye level with the crown of a tree. So you've got all the foliage of the tree between you and his eyes, but he's clearly heard you and is peering through the brush, trying to find what he heard, or she, or however it self-identifies as an undead being.
Death knows no genders.
That's right. That's right. It only, although it no longer has biological reproductive organs, it still has sexual desires, or not.
Now it is both sexual desires, both sexes.
That's right, and living states. It doesn't.
I think I found out how to defeat it now.
So you guys remember that episode of Karandrin where Brise seduced the skeletal troll?
Where's a bard when you need one?
Barry White, the bard.
Nice. Yeah, I think my goal is to escape this thing, trying to sneak away before it sees me. Now, what are the chances that I could aim a teleport far behind it? That might be out of earshot, and then just kind of sneak away that way.
Well, remember that since it's down slope, behind it would be open air.
Oh, true. I would need to see down the slope to actually.
Right.
Damn, yeah.
Right.
Okay. That's probably
so really then you can see, how far can you see? So at this, you just rounded a corner, so you can't see behind you at all. It is also open air, right? Because of rounding around some boulder, some shoulder of the mountain, something like that. But this rugged path continues considerably, and you could teleport to a distant point about 80 to 100 feet away from it, further down the path. There's not, from this vantage, there's not a good place to teleport visually other than the path. I haven't checked upslope. I haven't thought about upslope.
Sure, yeah, I could.
No, upslope is fairly sheer. There's no real place to go.
Another idea then, instead of just creeping away, I do have a call fog. Would be interesting.
That is funny. I was thinking that you had a fog.
Yeah.
spell.
Now I'm like, what do I know about? I feel like I can't remember if we brought this up because I fought a lot of undead, but like about the ability of undead to just, how do they perceive? Like, do they use sight? Because it's obviously a skeleton,
Roll for me.
Worth trying, but 76.
Your understanding is that the stories you've read, even the skeletal undead, have some sense of sight.
Okay.
And so the stories, seem to indicate them looking, right? And
Right.
like this guy isn't like sort of sensing, right? He's clearly peering. The glimpses you get of him.
All I see is bone.
Roll for me.
Can't see with this skull eyes. 79.
You see a green glitter somewhere either in his upper chest or his lower face. It's hard to, as the bones pass through, all the foliage, you catch a glimpse of a green glittering object. He is being strangely subtle for a troll. Like you would think he would just clamber up there and smash whatever he finds, and he's not.
Right.
He's peering. You do begin to hear him moving begin to part of the leaves and limbs.
Yeah.
And again, it's so much more subtle than you would expect a troll to behave. Which of your options would you like to?
I'm going to try the call fog because I think that also kind of muffles sound a bit too. So make it harder to detect where it's coming from. So
and is that in your tome?
It is nature's law. So I have time to pull out my.
It feels like you have time. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. What level is it?
Well, the level.
Yeah, the difficulty
level
of
4.
Right, but it'll act as a level 10.
Got it. Yeah.
And of course, you can cancel it before its duration expires. Any point you want.
Oh, I can also pick an area, so I'll put it right on the troll. Just kind of see where he is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, roll it up.
Rolling the call fog spell is a 36.
Not great. Not your best reading. You worry it'll be somewhat shorter in duration.
Okay.
Than its normal. But it you hear it make a surprise, curious noise, and it is a nice thick fog that extends out. The winds on the slopes will dissipate it probably faster than its duration.
Yeah.
But you've definitely got time. Roll for me.
It'd be 150 feet, it says, is the radius at 10.
Okay.
13.
Okay. A voice, clearly not a troll, calls out from the troll, and your fog vanishes.
Huh.
The voice was female, indeterminate age, pretty definitely elven.
Wow. Okay.
Roll for me.
Concerning. 42.
Okay. Keep going. What would you like to do?
A little startled. I'm just gonna. I'll just have to creep away then. I think down the path. Do we know what that might have been? Is that like they just negated the magic? I guess it has to be what it is, right?
Certainly, regardless of what it's called, right? Certainly is what it did.
Yeah, it didn't like dissipate the fog. It literally just stopped the spell.
Right. It just, I mean, it was clearly, I mean, you feel it internally turn off. You just feel it gone.
Damn. Yeah, okay. I'm just going to start creeping down the path as quietly as I can.
The foliage gets thinner for a good long while. You're almost going to have to crawl. But that may be what it has to be. and you still have the ability to teleport just straight down the path.
This is true. And that'll put me, what again? You said like 40 feet away?
No, like 80, 90 feet away.
80, okay. Let's be safe. Yeah, let's try a teleport. Just to put more distance away, and then I'll at least be pretty far away from where it thinks I am. So we will use my adder to do that. My helm here.
And for anyone who isn't familiar with the system, not that I'm a big system guy, I like the game to be a little more organic, but an adder basically is a blank check for a spell. So instead of using his own magical power, his adder will say, here's a free spell,
Still takes up exhaustion, though. So.
Yes. Yeah. So, we do use exhaustion in this game to measure how tired you are, and it's...
Which is funny, at this point now I have like 45 power points. Like exhaustion is becoming... Actually, no, I have 75 power points. Exhaustion.
Yeah.
More of like a limiting factor than power points are.
Right.
Except all these bonuses.
Yeah, and I used that system because it was a really... they talk about in fantasy role-playing, there's a fundamental problem in that wizards begin too weak, or spell users begin too weak, but they end too strong.
Right.
Now, I fixed the too weak part pretty well in this game. You get a lot of spells, and I start you with a lot of magical power, so you can do what you're supposed to do, which is cast stuff.
Hell yeah.
Second edition Rollmaster, which is what this game is based on, was insane. You could literally cast one spell a day, and it was a first level spell. That's all you could do. And I'm like, why would you ever have that? So instead of starting with one PowerPoint, which was they did, I now start you with 30.
Yeah.
At least for a pure spell user.
Yeah, I felt really powerful. I remember when I first started playing, and I still feel pretty powerful. But there definitely is a limit on how powerful I can be. So
right. So exhaustion in this game I've used to limit the big power thing. So the 50th level spells are the most powerful spells in Rollmaster. But it takes you half your exhaustion, right? So now what? You better have it better work.
Right. Better kill that army.
Yeah, exactly. And if you don't roll well on the 50th level spell, it can cost you more than 50 exhaustion if you just don't cast it really well. So I'm sorry. All right. So you're going to try to teleport
down the path. Yeah.
All right. Roll it up.
10. There it is. All right.
That is a fumble.
That was expected. That's what I was trying to do the whole time.
And
I wanted the troll to come to me.
That's right. The rules that I have implemented mean a critical when you fumble a spell, and that can be very serious. Sue,
what's it gonna be?
Would you like to roll your own critical?
Sure. I roll really low anyway. Oh, look at that. Is that a 90 or a 60? A 62.
That's lovely. So 20 hit points worth of damage.
Oh, Jesus.
You're stunned. There is a flash. There's sort of a blow to your chest as the spell malfunctions. You're staggered back. You're stunned one round, which means you're at -20 for all your actions. And an elven voice says, and by the way, it speaks Thax. I should roll. It speaks it with a clear elven accent, though. So that is to say, continental elf. So whoever this person is, but the voice shouts, "Seize him." And
Thing.
the troll's hands basically reach up and wrap around, push through the lower parts of the tree, not straight through the heaviest part of the crown, but
Yeah.
reach through, and they're coming together trying to grasp whatever it is, whoever it is behind the tree, which would be you.
Me.
What would you like to do? You're stunned, which means no attack.
Yeah. I think I've got to just try to leap out of the way down the path and make a break for it. What I'm thinking of. Oh, I do have my cloak of billowing too. I need to kind of distract.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Once I leap out of the way, I can kind of try to make that get it tangled up. I guess, but then it'll get tangled up. I'm wearing it too,
Right. You don't want to be attached to this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the hands are, practically 3 feet high. I mean,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. This is a big one for sure.
roll for me.
4.
All right. Well, that idea does not occur to you.
Okay.
All right. You're going to attempt to dive over the hand and then run down. Now, that's an interesting question. Do you want to run further down the path, the direction you were headed, or really don't you want to head back to the keep?
I guess, yeah.
Especially, remember that direction, you immediately, just in a few feet, you'll turn the corner there, right? And you'll be even more out of sight because of that bend in the trail.
Oh, that's true. I didn't think about that. Yeah. Okay, then we'll swap it. We'll jump out of the way, but head up the path back toward the keep.
All right, roll.
Booyah! 69. Hell yeah. Nice.
A decent jump. You're faster than the troll. It feels you as you sort of have to use its hand almost as a what are they called? The pommel horse, is that right? The gymnastics equipment.
You're just like, whew,
yeah, to sort of have to spring off of it, and it tries to grasp you and misses. Roll again. This is for your run.
6.
Jeez. So you sort of stagger from the thing. Still pretty possible you'll make it around the bend. So let's go to initiative. Roll initiative. You're not stunned this round, so you lose those penalties.
It's a 47 for initiative.
Oh my god! Rolled a 90.
Nice.
I'm assuming you're just gonna run.
I'm gonna run. My idea is to run out of sight of it and then try another teleport. That way, right. I'm just I'll be untraceable.
Right.
I have a potion of bone mending here. Maybe I'll just make peace with it and here, have the. So you look kind of injured.
That's right. The ankle bone is connected to. A voice calls out a spell. This female elf.
No. God damn it, Kevin! It's already a skeletal troll. Why does it also have to cast spells?
And a wall of earth appears on the. Actually, you know what? I got to roll it properly speaking. It does block the pathway. It's made too wide. Part of it that is not supported actually begins to crumble, but it's still impassable. You kind of bounce off of it and recover yourself because you weren't going that fast because of your 6 roll.
Right.
The troll turns and begins to, clamber up the slope and toward you.
Mm-hmm.
Next round, what do you think you want to do?
There's no way through the earth wall here. I use my own earth wall and wall myself in. Don't hurt me.
That's kind of interesting, right? Just put it in its way. And at least he can't see.
Right.
You do have the potion of troll strength that we talked about last session.
Yeah, that would I'm going to kind of go toe to toe with it, but
not necessarily. It means that you could escape its grasp if it gets you.
True, yeah.
It also means you can, for one, throw things at it.
Yeah.
And you can
too, yeah.
You could tear through that wall.
True, yeah. Might be a great way to get away.
Rollmaster does a very clever thing when it comes to its walls. It says it'll take you this many rounds to dig through. It'll take you this many rounds to chip through.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, well, thanks for that. That makes it easy to calculate, and it gives it like in man rounds, you know what I mean? So it's like if there's 2 of you, it'll take half the time, and
Yeah. Make sure. So I do have my troll strength on my potion holder that's on me.
Yeah.
So I remember we said I would have to just select it out there and do it. I think that's a good idea. Because then,
look at your other potions, or maybe something else.
I have been, yeah, but I haven't been thinking about them. I guess that cleverly. I do have intangibility, which will let me pass through the wall and keep going.
You could pass through the mountain,
or just That's a little scary though. What's going to happen? Jeez.
It also means they could not grab you.
True. Yeah. Courage, intangibility, sleep, attunement. And then I have the acid cloud one, which I don't even know if that would work, but yeah, let's try intangibility. Potion of intangibility, just to literally just phase through everything and make an escape from this thing.
Yeah. Okay. So that's your deal. The troll needs to get on better footing to grab you. You're just out of its reach. And the voice in its head. So the troll goes first. It attempts, it's sort of trying to slide its way, along the slope to get to you. It only has to go a little bit. It's taking it forever. You can hear rocks falling beneath it and things like that. The slope is fairly steep and apparently gets steeper. The little part of the trail that you've made it down. It reaches for you. It is just out of reach. You are, grasping at your pouch thing to grab the potion. You drink your potion. Is this your first potion of intangibility?
This is my first potion of intangibility.
All right. Then make a little star there.
Mm-hmm.
And through the earth wall or through the mountain?
Let's go through the earth wall. Just pass through and try to go down the trail. That works.
through it you go. You just it's just strange. You get limited sight as you're going through solid material, but you sort of just pass through textures, you know. And you emerge on the other side.
Woo.
And you round that stony bend and roll to run.
Actually, before I start running, could I hide in the mountain, or just phase into the mountain?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, let's do that instead. Instead of running, I'm just gonna phase into the mountain. You know, just like run into the rock and see if I could just completely obscure myself from it.
The problem is you don't know how you're going to be able to see.
Oh, that's a good point. I just have to listen.
To know when it's going to be safe.
Yeah. Okay, well then we'll run for now, and maybe we'll keep that in mind. That plan. Yeah.
Right. Now, I mean, yeah, you did the potion. You could try the spell, but you can't do the spell and run a lot. You know, I can give you some distance, but not a lot.
No, try teleport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you do.
Like I should probably ask first. Is there any spot I can teleport to? That seems like it's
well, you have your memorized spot. Any of your memorized spots is better than where you are now.
True, I guess. Yeah.
Right.
I have some time because I've rounded the bend. Yeah.
I mean, you could go back to your campsite. What do you care? So long as it's not near this thing.
Yeah. Okay, we'll try to teleport to the spot close to the keep.
Okay.
I have some time to concentrate and focus. Make sure it's a good casting.
Well, that will take you a couple of rounds to get in.
Well, not literally focus, but I just meant I'm not like, it's not on my back, right? I'm like,
right. Well, I mean, right. I mean, you're around the bend, so it can't even see you right now. It's got to negotiate that slope before it can even proceed around that bend.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's try the teleport now.
Okay. You want to use your adder?
Yes.
All right. Let's do it.
All righty then. That's an 83.
Great. Roll to aim.
It's a 1. Okay. Where are we gonna go this time, everybody?
Roll again.
Put in the comments where you want Brise to end up. At the volcano. Holy moly.
Wow. Oh my God.
That could be, I guess that could be anywhere, literally. Just that bad.
Oh, I have not thought about this. Holy shit. We'll have to deal with that later. Holy shit. Oh, my big dumb game master. Oh, and you're a big dumb player.
Am I teleporting too close to the keep?
No.
No.
It's another realization that we should have had like a year ago. Wow.
I'm going to be Crowlam's new arm, or in Crowlam's dimension. I like that one. I found a new world. It's demons, despair, and suffering.
But. Well then. Congratulations. You definitely teleport.
All right. Roll a 1 to aim. Nice. Let's see what happens.
Roll for me.
68.
There is an instant of teleporting, of reality resolving itself. There's clearly a very large structure in front of you. Mm-hmm. Then there is a powerful blast. Um, just a wall of force, like being hit by a moving wall that strikes you evenly everywhere simultaneously.
Awesome.
You take 35 damage.
Oh, fantastic.
You are clearly have been knocked in the air.
Oh, wait. Don't I still have my potion of intangibility? Do I still get
You
force?
do still get hit.
Okay.
And you land without damage because of the intangibility.
Oh, wow.
Roll again.
19.
It takes you a couple of rounds to pick yourself up, to get your bearings. You sit up. This is a large estate on a mountain. It's on the wrong side of a mountain to be the keep. It's smaller than the keep. It's a series of large buildings. It's clearly a wealthy estate.
Yeah.
You can see in the distance what is apparently the main house. It's sort of behind you. I guess roll to see if it's familiar.
23.
No. There is staff here and there, but no one seems to have noticed you. They are predominantly goblin. There's writing on the building near you. It is elven. It appears to, well, it's clearly a guest home. You know that the elves, if they have long-term guests, they will sometimes honor that guest or a frequent guest by putting the name of that guest on the building of their guest home.
Oh, yeah.
And here in Elven, it says the family Alcan, Alkan. Alcan you recognize as a pen name. And for our viewers, that is the desert nation called the Pen Clans. So it is of the desert human nation that apparently has a tie to this presumably elven family, although it could just be that elven is a favored script here and not
right.
You see someone pass in front of the inside the guest home, pass across. Middle-aged human woman, clearly Pen in ethnicity.
Okay.
She does not notice you. She was carrying a tray of looks like a tray of tea.
Teleport into the astral plane. I'm just a ghost now. No,
That's it. That's it. You're intangible, and you teleported.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I can either just try to go teleport again, or I can try to find out where I am. I'm a little curious to see if I could find out where I am.
Keep in mind, that you're fully armored and fully armed.
Yes, that's what I was thinking of. I should probably make my way away from this estate. See if there's anything else around.
So
I'm going to try to back away from, just find some hiding, like some bushes and stuff to seek out first.
yeah, behind you, there's sort of walking paths and gardens that go all the way up to the slope and then go down.
Okay.
So there's a little low wall that one could sit on and presumably look down into whatever valley. So you want to head down to the wall and then maybe see how bad the slope is?
Yeah. Because is it possible that when I teleported, I saw like another manor on a slope and teleported there?
It's possible that you saw one. It's possible that you remembered one.
Yeah.
Just as a stray thought.
Yeah. Literally just a random thought.
Right.
It reminds me of the time when I did a really bad teleport. I meant to teleport to Convergence, and I said ended up in like a goblin city or something in the middle of the road. That was fun.
Yeah, but it was one of the towns you had visited as a child.
Yeah,
and it was just
people screamed. I'm like, bye, and there's
yeah. You were like, I could make amends or I could just leave. So
yeah.
So you make it over there fairly quickly. There's a bit of you hear raised voices and hurried movement coming from the larger house that was sort of behind you. You make it to the wall. The slope is forgiving. There's even walkways that switch back on it. There are benches.
Okay.
And let me think. And in the distance, roll for me.
45.
Given the number of cursed streams and bridges, that has to be Balabri down there.
Okay.
So, whereas the keep has it, if you were stand at the gate, if you were stand atop the wall of the keep, it would be Balabri would be down and slightly to your right.
Gotcha.
You can't really see all of Balabri from the keep, just because of the keep's angle on the mountain. This one, you can look down and like further down Balabri's natural valley, and you can see the majority of it. And so you have teleported along that road, that initial road out of town.
Yeah.
That took you to the mine and the battlefield.
Yeah. Okay.
So it must be one of the homes that you saw in your travels. And that's what popped into your mind. You couldn't stay focused because of everything going on.
Yeah.
And here you are.
Yeah. Here I am.
But clearly, so like you just sort of scoot down. You hear raised voices speaking Elven, 3 Elven voices, male. You can't. Well, I'll have you roll. Actually, roll for me.
80.
What you're hearing is, we'll search everywhere. The defenses clearly went off.
Oh, yeah.
Someone tried to use magic to infiltrate the estate. I don't want them harmed necessarily, but find them.
I just raised my hand. I'm sorry.
I mean, you could. You're just on the other side of the little sitting wall.
Oh yeah, my plan right now is to make my way away from the keep, far enough that I think I'm away from the defenses, and then teleport one more time. Third time's the charm to get back closer to Mia Gralls.
So the defense here, by the way, would have killed you had you not been intangible.
Oh my gosh, really?
It knocks you straight up in the air,
right,
as hard as it can, and it's magic, so it doesn't. Apparently, it still works if you're intangible, but what doesn't work is the impact afterward.
Right.
And the impact was a 160.
Oh my god! Holy moly! I just imagine hitting my back. I've fallen like out of a chair backwards before, and it strikes your back, like knocks the wind out of you. It's like that times 100.
Yeah, I jumped down about a 7-foot retaining wall, right? Like I lowered my, I didn't lower myself. I crouched down at the top of the wall and then I hopped off, right, ready to take that. And it was shocking the amount of force I landed with.
Yeah,
even at 7 feet.
Yeah,
and that is something Rollmaster does very well. I mean, if you look at their fall table, good grief. And the attack bonus is the number of feet you fall.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh, 100-foot fall. Okay, well, there's a plus 100 roll for you.
Yeah.
Oh, it's awful. It's awful.
Terrible. It's like one of the few times like fall damage is kind of like accurate,
Yeah.
Games and video games and stuff. It's either
too
little or way too much, or it's like kind of makes sense,
Right. The guards have, it sounds like 2 or more guards. It certainly sounded like 2 voices that were talking back and forth, but it sounds like more have joined them, which is interesting. It's elven staff and it's elven masters and elven guards, but it's goblin staff, which is interesting. Obviously, a trust issue there. You can just kind of hop through this sort of sloped garden walkway. You don't have to do the switchback, right? Like, nope, I'm climbing down this slope. I'm climbing down this slope. So you can. Man, this estate has a lot of gardens, and now you're fearing just stumbling across someone on the walk.
Yeah.
So it comes to another retaining wall. You're now considerably, you're probably 100 feet downslope from the buildings and so on.
Right.
The residential level, if you will. This slope is, that's going to be difficult to climb. You could levitate.
Will my intangibility help me at all? I could have just jumped down.
That's a really interesting.
I do a little afraid of heights, so I might not even want to try.
Yeah, I don't think you would do that. Grapple and climb down to the next layer, but it is just more walking. It's still walking here. They haven't switched to riding or anything. They really got it. I mean, it's just really lovely here. They have, they've got waterfalls they've arranged and things like that. So it comes to an end here as switchbacks, and they had to work with what they had in terms of the slope of the mountain, and so there are places where the whole sort of garden sense narrows because they couldn't really make use of these giant rocks that were sticking out or what have you, and then it may broaden again and so on. And here it narrows and then just goes off in one direction because of this sheer drop. The drop here it's over 100 feet. I mean, it's genuinely deadly. Looking back up the slope, it looks like The guards have not searched the gardens yet. They're still checking buildings. Oh my God. Quinn, I don't know if you know how much I hate that song, and that's why you posted it, but I hate that song. I hate that song.
Sounds familiar. What song is that again?
Are you mocking me, or are you actually asking?
I'm actually asking.
It's Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls.
I know.
And it's so stupid, of course, because waterfalls are stationary. And so there's no need. It has a beautiful sound to it. It's just a stupid concept. So just search for Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls and listen to it.
By TLC.
Yes, by TLC, the Learning Channel.
Tender Loving Channel. That's a channel I want to watch.
That sounds like something you would watch at Beaver's Bend. The state park or national.
What did you know about Beaver's Bend State Park?
I've
never been there in my life.
I've taken a few trips there. Let's just say. Oh, Quinn, you jerk! God, I hate that stupid song. And it gets stuck in your head is the other thing.
Right.
Oh my God, Quinn! So help me God.
Banned from the stream.
Right. Oh my Lord.
Right. So it's this 100-foot drop, but I'm still kind of in the confines of the estate.
Yes.
Right. So
I mean, there's just more, climbing and rugged rock and so on. Like, where they could expand the gardens, clearly they did. So long as, they could make it walkable with some work, they would do so.
Yeah.
So sort of, it's funny, like where it's a gentle slope and nice and so on. Hey, that's their estate. Where it's not,
Right.
and it's impossible to get around.
Right. I just have to risk a teleport here.
And of course, you can see Belabry. I mean, you can see it from here. So
Yeah.
you could teleport to some spot there, hopefully, wait for traffic or whatever you can see of traffic to be gone. Or for that matter, though, you have a spot, in Belabry that you've memorized, as well as back at the keep.
Right. That's what I'd prefer, to just be closer to the keep, less of a walk. But yeah, I would think, I don't know if it requires a kind of I'm assuming too much here, but like they couldn't possibly defend every corner of their keep, right? The gardens seem less important, especially further away from the main buildings.
I mean,
with any kind of magical protection that would prevent.
It's a good question. The thing is that, elves live a long time, right? So you accumulate wealth, you hire a mage to enchant one area of your estate. As your estate expands, you accumulate wealth and you have them protect that. It's a very tough question.
Yeah. I mean, would I have any idea of that based on my upbringing? I came from kind of a wealthier family. I mean, we didn't use magic, I don't think, to protect our estate.
Right. I mean, yeah.
House.
Right. You weren't at that level. And though you interacted with people who were definitely at this level, you didn't talk to them about their arcane defenses.
Right. And they probably wouldn't
right.
bring it up too much either. Oh, yeah. I never defend my gardens with magic. Okay. Well, there's no one around, so I think we'll just keep navigating until I can maybe find an exit.
Right. Do you want to take a moment and at least disarm? Find a hiding
found, yeah.
I mean, just put all your weapons in your bag, take off your armor. Because right now you have no chance of talking your way around.
Yeah.
Talking your way out of trouble if you come across a staff member.
True.
Right.
Yeah. I think my character also would rather talk things out than try to defend myself in case I did get confronted by guards. So I think it's a good idea trying to take a moment to take off my armor and put away my weapons.
Yeah.
And my shield.
So it takes you several rounds, but you're just always listening.
Yeah.
You're sort of up under this sort of decorative tree that's got a nice wide crown, and so it can shields you from above. and and so you just change out of everything, shove it up, shove it in your bag of holding or what have you, your case of holding, and you fix your hair, from the impact and all your running, and you feel like you don't look like you'll belong, but it might be that you're a service person coming, to work in the gardens or something, and that'll do fine.
Yeah.
Um, um, so all that you get done, glancing back up, still no sign of guards here.
Okay.
Or even beginning up the slopes that you can see. There is, it seems, one goblin gardener, middle-aged male, and he's making his way down the very beginning of the garden, way up there. Now some 200 or 300 feet up. He's not in a hurry. He's got he's carrying a rake and a shovel on his shoulder, obviously coming somewhere in here to do a task, but he's doing the switchback.
Sure. Yeah. He's gonna take a while.
Yeah. So
because my intangibility wore off in the time that I was doing all my.
No, it feels like it's still got quite a while to go.
Okay. Then I think we'll still keep going down the garden and trying to find some wall, or if I just find a wall and I can kind of pass out of there and there's no slope on the other side, then I can get out of here.
I mean, that is true. Any of these rough spots where they've had to turn the garden, where they couldn't extend the garden.
Right. If there's a big enough patch, maybe it's not magically protected.
Right. If you walk enough through it and then sort of climb, I mean, it's very weird. You have traction, but it seems by act of will.
Yeah, and Obi-Wan asked, what does the intangibility do? So it seems like it allows me to pass through objects and earth and whatever at will.
Yes.
So like all my clothes and stuff are still on.
But they are also intangible.
Right. And I'm also standing on solid ground, but I can pass through if I need to. I can't see through it though.
Right.
So I want to just,
So there was at the end of, there was this slope that fell away, right? That you got to the very bottom of. You walked away from that to find a tree to change beneath. You could go back to the place where, not the slope, but you could go further around the mountain through just that real rough area that they decided not to extend the garden around.
Yeah.
And see how long it lasts. For all your magical stuff, you get a general sense of how much time is left. They had to build that, or otherwise you would probably, the early versions didn't, and people wound up dying.
Yeah.
Right? Stuck in rock or what have you.
Why is that statue talking?
Exactly.
No. Joey. Yeah, let's do that then. Let's go back to that big patch.
Okay.
Untamed stuff. See if we can use that to get out of here.
So you just sort of walk. Every now and then your head will emerge out, and you'll kind of look, and you'll go, okay, it's heading this way. I'm going to keep going. You'll sort of look, and you sort of, it's like it's almost like being in a pool, right?
Yeah.
You will to have resistance, and you're able to push and maneuver through the material.
Right.
When you don't choose to have resistance, you don't have any.
Sink down, yeah.
So
I guess that's fair to describe as like the earth all of like matter becomes like liquid that you can pass through at will.
Right. It's like whether you push your hands this way through the water or whether you cup your hands through the water. Right. So you start to hurry because you begin to sense the potion's end is coming.
Yeah.
but you do make it around. You come out. I mean, you've walked now, and probably with some hurrying here and there. I mean, you're probably almost at 500, 600 feet.
Mm.
You feel from their property. You emerge from the rougher rock onto a large ledge that has slopes leading both down and forward, but of course not
Okay.
behind you. Yeah, this is just a lovely, gentle slope, sort of everywhere except right at your feet. It's a little more jagged, where you have to kind of pick your way, but still the slope is manageable. It's
Yeah.
just rougher. So here's a patch of mountain that you know, and you could probably even walk another 100 feet.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm probably good here if I'm that far away from the property to try another teleport.
Your intangibility ends. You're going to try to teleport back to the keep.
Yes, sir. Back to that one
Okay.
spot down the road. All right, third time's the charm, everybody. Third teleport. Any drum rolls?
Oh, that's right.
I would appreciate.
Well, you know, the
for this
Quinn's going to do
casting.
something evil. He's going to do an anti-drum roll.
Yeah, I probably should roll before Quinn does. All right, here we go. Rolling to cast teleport. It's a 56.
Nice. Subtract your exhaustion.
Yes, sir.
I
I always
assume
forget. I get exhaustion for fumbles too, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's 65 out of 100. And roll a single drum roll from Karen. All right, I'll use that for my roll to aim. 75. Thank goodness.
Boom. You're back
What?
at the road leading up to the keep.
Things busy. Don't screw it up. I didn't. Thanks. I think that's a good time for a break, possibly.
Yeah, that's a great idea. You're right. It's a great stopping point. Wow, what a crazy moment. And then so well, everybody, thanks for hanging out with us right now. We're gonna take a quick break, and I'm gonna post all of our links and everything. You can take a look at those, and just bear with us for a few moments. And Obi-Wan Karen is scolding us about our terminology of drum roll versus drummers rolls. But we love her anyway. And so everybody, thanks for hanging out with us. We'll be right back after a few moments, and we'll see what happens next. We'll see you soon. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I hope you stuck with us through the break. We certainly appreciate you hanging out with us tonight. And I also want to apologize to Max and to all the viewers. You'll notice there was some quality problems in the first half of the stream. I'd forgotten to switch to my actual cable, Ethernet cable. I was doing Wi-Fi. I'd forgotten to do that, so I apologize to Max and to everybody. So hopefully,
Not quality problems with the game. Quality problems with
no, the quality of the game is the same, abysmal, atrocious.
consistently poor.
Right. I mean, it's just ooh. But but of course, the one thing that really elevates any role playing session is some scat. But
Agreed.
so, well, welcome back. So, we just had Brise get out of some trouble and then out of some more trouble.
Now I'm
And
going to be like, it's like rumors are already circulating like a Mirgrol's key. Now Algrid, I'm like a troublemaker, like for him as well. Now whoever this like guy is, it's like
that's right.
he's be known across all the nobles and
The most inept magical burglar ever just appears, takes nothing except a blow, takes a blow, and leaves.
Literally, I'm just like one of those they call them penetration testers, where it's like test a network for its defenses. It really just teleport in, like get like hit, and I'm like, yeah, okay, defenses are working.
That's right.
Well, 300 gold pieces.
Yeah. So you're also like the TSA testers. They
Right.
hire people to challenge the TSA.
Right. Exactly.
And the airport stuff, and they have failed. The TSA has failed to stop the testers smuggling stuff on board.
Nice.
I forget I don't think it's 99%. I think maybe it's 95%.
Oh, that's not so bad.
No, so I mean, you feel it should. I mean, it really is. It's alarming. I mean, it is alarming.
Yeah.
Not that the job isn't hard. I won't say that, and I don't mean to start a debate, but so we are now back at sort of the vicinity of Lady Miagral's keep, and you're ready to to head on up and or just continue the rest of your day.
Yeah. How much daylight does it look there? How much daylight does it seem like there was left?
You've still got a couple of hours, running, waiting, and all this kind of stuff. Has been a lot of stop and start, but it hasn't been a lot of time.
Right.
In some senses, you may even want to just stop and gather your wits.
Right. Take a little break. Well, it sounds like, take a little break, and there's still some time to continue what I was doing about finding a spot
yes,
on the mountainside, maybe in another direction,
sure,
away from the skeletal troll.
Sure.
So
roll for me.
On 49.
So now that you've had time to process something, I mean, obviously that wasn't a normal undead troll, right?
Yeah.
Obviously someone's controlling it.
Oh, interesting.
Right? Because the voice cried out, "Seize him."
I didn't think about that. Yeah, that's right.
And it did so. It wasn't a troll voice casting the spells.
Right.
It was also acting differently than a troll, right? In its subtle way. And it also didn't say kill him. It said seize.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even think about that either. Huh.
So now it raises a lot of questions, obviously.
Yeah.
It suggests, of course, necromancy to be able to control something like that. Although, roll for me. I'll give you another shot at this.
51.
Maybe the green glimmer you saw was a magic item, a jewel, a gem,
Yeah.
a necklace, and maybe that might be the only necromancy involved.
Right.
So what we come to is the question of, whose side is that on,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And one possibility that you can't really confirm is, is this one of Miagraw's enemies testing Miagraw's defenses?
Yeah.
Um,
That would almost be the most benign like outcome,
right.
There's something a lot more devious.
Although that could be devious enough. I mean, you could
Right.
imagine, if this were an effort, say, to raid her armory and potion stores, that's not benevolent, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, true.
Um,
I mean, I guess benevolent in terms of me, like it's not someone I like. It's something I do need to worry about it, but it's not might be something I can easily stay out of simply by running
right.
away.
It's right. It's not after you,
Right.
Yeah.
Specifically, yeah. But
So, yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Definitely gonna bring it up with
Adabir.
Adabir, yeah, be the best person.
Yeah, and then he can decide who else to share it with.
Yeah.
Leave that to him. I got to figure out how to do this. Well, roll for me again.
18.
Okay. This is. I just don't know how to handle this. I mean, just to handle it now, but that's all right. We'll just have to deal with it later. I'm just going to have to make a note.
Teasing me with this. I want to know what it is.
I know. And every natural opportunity that occurs, I'll have you roll again. So obviously going to the right, on one of those paths that lead off of the main road that comes up to Miagraw's Keep, is not available to you now. So do you want to go to the left? I mean, do you want to walk down to the town? Of course, by the time you get down to the town, it's probably going to be dark.
Yeah. I think it's good for right here because right here is my typical teleport spot. So I think I'll just strike to the left and try to find a spot that way. It'll always be close by if I need to reach it again.
All right. So you head to the left. You know that these are some of the riding trails that you were sort of warned off of. So you sort of just stay on the listen, right, for any horses coming.
Yeah.
Do you want to? Do you got any sneaky stuff you want to have ready? Is there a magic item? Is there
No, all my stuff is passive. Like I've got my ring of stealth,
right,
and my boots. Is it leave taking, or if I run, I don't make a noise.
right?
So,
Do you want to have your tome out?
Yeah, true. Why don't I have nature's tome out in case I need to cast a fog or something?
And let's assume that you re-equip, with the exception maybe of your spear being on your back, so that you can carry the tome.
Yes, good idea.
So yeah, we'll have you re-equipped for
my
adventure.
Shield on my arm and holding the tome.
That should be fine. Yeah. So you walk, begin looking at the valley below. It's just a long day.
Brise, skeletal trolls come out.
There are creatures flying over the valley, very distant. bat-like wings, it seems. Size is hard to tell, but um, it's a pair of creatures. Flying what direction? How should we do that? We'll put them where they are, and then we'll put them what direction. So directly ahead of you. And they're flying away from you. They seem to have a pair of limbs in the front, no real discernible head, and they seem to have a bulbous tail that falls behind them and then curves under. But they're flying away. They don't seem familiar, nothing you've read about in your various research. And they seem to be continuing on their way.
Well, that's good. They're flying away. Okay, we'll take note and continue on.
Still no sound of footfalls or voices or movement. As it approaches dark, you do find a clearing in the valley below. There's a large number of farms down here, but still a good number of woods and so on. It's really a clearing in the shape of a winding strip.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a creek down there you can't see. But all of that looks promising. It's narrow. It would give you cover if you needed to hide from something above.
Right.
But there's also plenty of chance to be seen if you want to be seen. It'd be lovely if there was a creek down there to sit beside. That seems your best option given the light remaining today.
Yeah, let's give it a shot.
So you want to try to teleport there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You check the skies thinking, I don't want to go underneath those creatures, but they're long out of sight now. All right. Cast, just don't fumble, and aim, just don't fumble. So 2 relatively easy rolls here.
Yeah. Easy. 45.
No problem.
Aim is an 88. Beautiful.
There is indeed a creek, very small. You just sort of give it a quick walk around. You want to look for, is there a campsite nearby that I should know about and therefore X this off my list? Anything like that. So you just you sort of walk its length.
Yeah.
Checking for that, signs of tracks of anything that's trouble. Was there a trail going through here that I really don't want to mess with?
Yeah.
And that seems fine.
Okay.
That seems fine. There's a very, very memorable place. There's a large boulder at the edge of the clearing, and there are just 2 trees that have grown up and have sort of, I don't know, sunk in, but they're crossing over the boulder. It's very pretty. It's very easy to remember. And so you can leave yourself, if you want to memorize that spot, you can remind me that it's a plus 25 for aiming.
Okay.
Was open-ended. How striking that place is.
Nice. There's a big sign that says "Teleport here."
Exactly. There's like an open maw. You poke the stone. Like, please, actually, just be a stone. I can't deal with any more problems today.
Oh my gosh. Honestly. Well, cool. That was very successful. Found a great spot. I will. So now it's back to the keep. I think we've done that.
Okay. Teleport back to your usual spot.
Yeah, one more teleport. We'll
Boy,
be done.
you must be exhausted. I
I'm
mean,
at 55, so that'll put me below 50. Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right. Roll to cast. Roll to aim.
This way and that. Cast a 66 and aim a 60. Oh,
No problem.
goodness.
So you are, yeah, you're a little tired. You know, you've had a day. You're not exhausted, and you know, a nap can always set you right.
Yeah.
Um,
So I guess it's back toward the keep. Now I am a little injured. I'm at 112 out of 167 HP. Is that like, visible scratches, things I kind of wouldn't want? Because I'm
it's,
gonna go to dinner, right, with Aldra. I don't know if that's like I want to maybe call
you
it
know,
off or take some time to
you're
heal.
always going to check yourself in a mirror anyway,
Yeah,
right? And so your big concern, like you're achy everywhere.
right.
It was such a broad force that hits you, and you're pretty certain you're going to have a massive bruise and a little burning on your chest.
Yeah,
That almost always happens when you fumble a spell. It seems.
yeah.
It seems like it just erupts right in front of you
Mm,
when it goes haywire, and your hands always get a little burned.
mm,
So they usually are fine the next day. They're clearly tendered, sometimes blistered.
yeah.
Um, but you find that just rest usually does you fine.
Mm,
But yes, if you were going to be intimate with him, you would probably delay it or take a healing potion, because you don't know what other bruises you're going to have.
right,
Um,
right.
but that one, in the past, that one's not pretty.
Yeah, just like
Um,
go inside the same room, and then the next day I come out, I'm just covered with bruises, and I'm like, oh, what happened? Just
and
no one
Aldrich
knows.
gets arrested for abuse. Is that the goal here in the storyline?
Okay, well, good. So I can go back to the keep, freshen up. If I have time, take a nap, and then go to
Yeah,
dinner. So,
yeah. Oh, and tell Adabir.
right about the
Report.
yeah. By the way,
Um, you were thinking also about, were you still thinking about speaking to the um, apprentices?
right. Reportedly, they are back.
I mean, they may be gone again on another
Right.
errand, but do you still have
Maybe.
need for that?
What did I want? I wanted to find out more about Adabir's kind of research. Yes, actually. I'm glad you remind me of that. I should have added that to my goals, because I think that would be a great way of finding out what else Adabir is kind of looking at, and
Right.
um, how
Feel out how much they trust him.
exactly, yeah,
Um,
yeah. And it's also just good to have an idea of the scope of his plans. I mean, he makes sure he still is intent on what the original plan is. He's not kind of twisting it in any way.
so you head back. No real difficulties. Oh man, of course I think I've already checked, but I should check again. Sorry, I was just checking various things of our moving pieces.
Very good. I'm just updating my notes here.
Sorry.
I should really, on my goals, I should start using strike through instead of deleting them. Because sometimes I'll delete them and I'm like, did I finish that? Or did I actually delete it? So strike through.
Blank is not the same thing as zero, right?
It really isn't. It really, in coding, it's, always comment out code instead of deleting it, because, you don't want someone being like, where did this code go? Or
Interesting.
like, why wasn't this done? And commenting shows that it was purposefully removed.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Kind of the same idea.
We do it. Well, we use strike through in book publishing, that's what I used is when we send pages back to an author edited, our rule was anything we cut that was longer than a sentence, we would use strike through, we're not going to quibble over a word here and a word there.
Yeah.
Unless we're uncertain about the change, in which case we'll actually bold the change.
Right.
But yeah, that's what we would do so that they would go through and can see, and then we'd provide them a word of explanation, and then they could argue with us or what have you. So the so you make it back, walk in through the main door. Shoot, remind me. Right, hasn't been a day yet. That's right. You spoke to Crowlem last. It was today, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, let me check. No, I think it was. No, yeah, it was. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's.
And I went up to get ready for the day.
Right.
Crowlem was there. Yeah.
So you come in, the dining room, there's that dining room that is sort of halfway into the house along the foyer. And it's, and in there you hear the voices of all of the apprentices. They're clearly eating together, talking. Nothing new about the servants around or anything.
Yeah.
You're sort of a little hyper aware now of all that's gone on.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you want to stop there, if you want to go get changed first.
Sorry, say that again. I got distracted. There's a big crowd of people. Just
the apprentices are all
right
in the dining room off of the foyer, not the little parlor where you often like meet guests and things like that.
Yeah.
You guys have your meetings in there a lot, and there are a couple other parlors in the house, by the way, should you find one occupied.
Right.
There are even a couple of parlors upstairs.
Let's go check out what if there's any discussion going on. It might be good to just eavesdrop and catch wind of something.
You open the door, and of course they immediately fall silent, right? Because they're used to being very cagey around. They visibly relax when they show that it's you.
I'm a cool kid.
That's right. You're in the in crowd.
Yeah.
So they gesture, don't forget to shut the door, So everyone, is, greets you in some, in varying ways, right? Obviously more expressive from the guy who's interested in you.
Right.
Sorry, hop over here, and that was the wrong button. I like this. I'm glad that I did a keyword sort of thing on the NPC thing, because now I can just type apprentice and they all come up.
Nice. Yeah. Tag, yeah.
So yeah. No, wrong button. I always do that. So, Badrin, gives you a nod. She's the female goblin. The Doshrik rises and bows in his peculiar bird way. Tegra, of course, immediately comes and greets you at the door. And roll for me.
49.
Clearly, there's something he wants to ask. It's written all over his face. He pulls out a chair for you, asks if they should have the servants bring you anything.
No, I'm fine. I'm just stopping by for a little bit to see, to pick up on any news.
Well, you notice there's quite a bit of food on the table, and Tagrav gestures to it and to the various bottles of wine, and he's like, well, it is a little celebration that you have walked into. All of us were able to complete our tasks much easier than we thought. And our Lord is a generous, generous master. And he pulls out a mithril piece and, shows it to you. He said, we had hoped to get away to the town and maybe have a night of it. But apparently there is more immediate work to be done tomorrow. So Adabir, while generous, is still quite the slave master. But I hear that you had an unfortunate row with him.
Ooh. I need to remember now because my memory. I had a couple rows with him. Rose? Is it pronounced row?
Mm-hmm. Wow. So yeah, it's a British expression.
I know. I've like seen it in books and I've always said row. But,
yeah, it's a row. I don't know why. I don't know why it's called a row, but I love British TV. I love it. So
rowing is not quite violent,
I know it's not as rowing. I don't know.
Yeah. So I spoke with Adabir when I mentioned that Crowlem was becoming freed, right? That's when
he was injured. Yeah.
That he was injured. Yeah. That's when he was. Well, no, I haven't mentioned that he's injured yet. I mentioned that the Eagles were trying to free him. I wanted to keep that from him.
You told me that you'd basically told him everything.
Oh, did I? Okay. This is a lot of. Let me just search my notes to make sure.
Because I'll generally ask you, is there anything you want to hold back?
I had a distinct memory of telling him that the Eagles were trying to free him, and he interrupted me and got crazy, and then I left them.
Okay, well, but I'm saying like in the you think the explosion happened before you had a chance to tell him?
I think so, and then I made a note down here: don't tell Adabir that Crowlem is injured, or else he might literally die of anger. Okay, I'm pretty sure fine. I withheld that. Yeah,
that's fine.
That doesn't change the story at all.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, so that happened. It was a couple days ago. I haven't spoken with him since, I believe.
You've sent a note?
I sent him a note about the spy, and then Burla told me his response. So
right,
okay, it's all come back to me now. Okay, so Telegraph mentions that comment. I respond to that. And so I say, well, rumors. I'm just going to try to not deny it, but just kind of, what's the word when you de-escalate?
Deflect it?
Yeah, deflect it. It's like rumors will be rumors. There was some news that made him a little unhappy. But but I think things are all right now.
Oh, I think it's a bigger deal than you're telling us. He's still quite agitated despite our good news. He's a bit snappy. He's a bit short. All the servants are walking on eggshells. Poor Burlow is walking as though there's a weight on him.
Well, this might be.
We told you our news.
Damn.
I mean, you don't have to.
Yeah, I don't have, but because here's the thing, I still want to ask them about their news and about this might be an opportunity to find out about his plan. I'm seeing how I can kind of turn the conversation back toward that. I could say it like this. It's like, well, we talking with him, there seemed to be a disagreement about, or a misunderstanding about the intent of the whole operation. I was a little unclear on some of his plans, and I guess that made him a little angry with me. I wish I had a better idea of, what the of what some of the personal goals involved are in this whole operation here.
Let's see who's most like. I love having this. I love having this NPC database because I can just go click, 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 right, and scroll through the apprentice eye and see who's most likely to blab.
Right.
So, well, we know Tegra may blab just to win your affections. Come on, dude. What's wrong with me?
Some info. Come on.
Sorry, this is taking me a little while.
That's right.
So, yeah, thus far the winner is Tegra. Batherin, the goblin, says, I don't think, anyone attempts to keep you out of things deliberately, my dear. I think it is simply that you have your specialty and we have ours, and it just takes a great deal of learning to understand anything we're about. Doshrik remains very quiet, and there's a sense of him sort of retreating into himself. Roll for me. Let's see how you feel about Batherin's comment.
79.
Genuine.
Okay.
You feel that it's not an attempt to hide things from you. It's the same reason that you don't bring up coding at every conversation, right? It's specialized.
Yeah.
Right. I don't bring up horrible hygiene because that's my specialty.
Good. I think let's just keep that mutual.
That's right. So Um, and Tagrov, says, it is uninteresting to the uneducated, um, but in the broadest sense,
Did
at
you
least
just
I
call
can.
me uneducated?
Yes.
Throw him a left hook.
He says, for in terms of our recent news, we simply were able to acquire various ingredients, and he just gestures to Doshrik, or items that are particularly useful for his pursuit of making Miagral a bit younger.
Okay. Would it be too uncouth of me to say, and only Miagral?
Uncouth.
What did I say?
Couth.
I want to be couth. Yes. Would it be a little too uncouth of me to say, and only Miagral? Do you think?
I don't think it would serve you to say it.
Right. Exactly.
Because you already know that answer.
Right. But the idea is just trying to get more of an idea of their opinion of, I guess, Adabir and of his pursuit. So I guess word it more towards that then.
I mean, let's say what are you really going to learn if they disapprove of his pursuit of becoming younger?
Mm-hmm.
What are you really going to do with that information? Right.
Yeah, I guess. I just kind of want to make. I feel like, Adabir is showing that he's hiding some of his pursuits from me. I guess that could be all of them, and whether that's benign or not. I have a feeling that he is like a trustworthy person, and it would be good to just have that confirmation from the apprentice.
Interesting.
I think that's what I'm trying to get at.
Interesting. Yeah, so I mean, maybe there's a more general way to ask that,
Yeah, instead of targeting.
Right, his pursuit of youth.
Conversation, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, what would you do? I mean, I guess you could ask them, tell them you're just interested in magic and ask them what they found, and then you could research that independently. And if it seems that those things all do point toward that area of research, that would be confirmation that is his only agenda,
Right.
That'd be one way of doing it. I mean, the only other way I could think of would be, like, well, what's the strangest thing he's had you pick up, right? And then,
oh yeah,
if they said something they find strange, knowing his pursuit, well, then that would suggest a second agenda. That's the only way I could think of prying that out of them.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it kind of could go a lot of ways. Even just kind of asking, I guess it would be raising too much suspicion to ask them if they.
But you are clearly interested in magic,
right?
I mean,
no, my sentence was going to be asking them about whether Adabir does have a second agenda directly.
Just going more directly.
Yeah, that seems seems a little.
What are they going to be suspicious of? They're going to be suspicious that you've seen signs that he's, Yeah,
I guess.
I mean, I don't know. And that may get reported to him. Yes, that's possible, I guess. Mm-hmm. But he has to know what he said to you.
Yeah, exactly.
I
just, it does feel like I don't want to. I'm kind of like in the middle right now, and just prying kind of feels like it does put me on people's kind of bad side, possibly.
Well, and you don't need, and as I try to play this as a very realistic world, the fact that you damage a relationship in this game doesn't mean you can't fix it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
This is, if our viewers have learned anything, this is not a simplistic game at all.
Yeah.
I want it to be as natural and as complex as the game can support and maintain playability.
Right.
For that matter, you could go up to Adabir and said, "I know I upset you, but I don't appreciate you holding secrets from me." I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually another thing I was going to ask the apprentices. I kind of forgot is there a better way to mend, like what that relationship with Adabir?
Oh yeah, what would you
So
suggest I do?
yeah, so why don't we just bring that up instead, and then maybe if there's a natural way to find out any other whatever other secrets there are. But yeah, I'll just bring that up instead. It says, well, if he does seem that cross, it would be nice to know if there's a good way to return him to his good graces.
Right. Let's see what they would look at Adabir, and then we'll see what his. There we go.
I've got you this anti-aging cream. Yes.
I forget that he has a white beard that falls down to his stomach.
Yeah.
Piercing dark green eyes. Um, Doshrik says, I have noticed, that talk soothes him. Don't let things hang in the air.
Yeah.
And he, chuckles a little bit at his stupid pun, given that he's bird-like. And the other ones, sort of nod. And Tagarov tries to, comfort you and tell you, he's sure it'll work out.
Okay.
And of course, Burlow's known him for a long time too. And
Right.
It wouldn't be, breaking like a confidence to ask, how can I mend this problem?
Yeah, sure.
He'd probably see it as a, he'd probably see it as a, as a service.
Yeah.
To his master. So, what would you like to do?
I think that's all I wanted to ask them.
Now you could just hang out a little bit and let their conversation keep going, especially as they're drinking. But I mean, you do have a dinner engagement here soon.
I do, yeah, and I just want to tell Adabir about
right
the troll as well. So I think I'll excuse myself and try to find Burla.
Out you go.
Good talk.
You wave him down on the second floor. He is carrying a tray. Your guess is that's the dinner tray going up to Adabir's chambers.
Right. And I'll just say, is it possible to see the master? We have some news for him.
He's asked not to be disturbed. He's taking his tray in his chambers. Is there anything I can tell him?
Yeah, I guess does the troll feel important enough to put off? I guess. You know what I mean? Because I want to also, if he's being cross, I don't want to continue to irritate him. It would be nice to.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Important discovery. Leave a note for an important discovery when you're ready.
He says, I'll come back down for it immediately.
Okay. And let me just catch Berlin ask the same question, is that I've noticed, he has been kind of cross since our last encounter. If there's anything I can do to mediate that would be.
He has been unusually agitated since your discussion. Perhaps I think he feels in a strange way just betrayed. Although I know, of course, you would not do that. Just maybe talk with him tomorrow.
Okay. I appreciate it.
Interestingly, I guess with things moving along as they are here, is there a reason even for you to stay around other than Aldrich?
Yeah, no, like we were discussing, that's kind of why I said yes to the Eagles, accompanying them on that journey, because things are kind of moving of their own accord here. And so it's good to catch news of everything, but I'm just here because of Aldrich. Really.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I guess ultimately, Adabir has suggested that you will be a recipient of some of the power, if you
True.
wish.
You implied that, yeah. So I should be there, for the excursion, when it happens. But the research and the actual, discovery is not.
Not your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. He asks where he should find you after he comes back down. The parlor, your bedroom.
Yeah, I'll be in my bedroom getting ready for dinner. So.
Do you want to let him know that Aldrich and you will be taking dinner in the parlor?
Yeah, I should. Yeah. Tell him that too.
He says, of course. And off he scurries. You go up to your room.
Mm-hmm.
Write a note. And so here again, is there anything you want to leave out? Do you want to leave a note about your note? Just
about describing the troll, right?
Describing the experience with it specifically.
No, I think everything should be good. I yeah. If he asked me why I was out there, you can just say whatever, but I just say it was out by the keep,
right?
In this area,
Right.
And then describe the encounter in full detail, minus all the fumble teleport. I teleported back here without a problem.
It was
flawless teleport.
I can dunk a basketball too. I want to bring that up. I'm just awesome. I'm just terrific.
I teleported, dunked a basketball, and then walked in here.
Well, all right. So so you get ready. You write the note describing the big points of this encounter. Do you want to mention your concerns that it's someone testing your defenses? Or you want to let him to come to that conclusion?
I'll put it in there. Yeah, might as well. Just
okay.
At least,
Burlow comes. You pass the note to him, and we could do even Aldrich's dinner. We could do that outside of the stream if you wanted. Maybe this weekend.
Yeah, we need to do experience points. I think.
Yes.
We could.
And we can talk about. We'll talk about that after the stream and see if we can schedule time to do that and get you your due. Honestly, I mean.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think we could call it here and just do a little date outside the stream and.
So many dates, but so we'll end here early evening on this day of play, and then then when we return for episode 40, which will be another hat celebration day.
Oh, we should just have the whole date as episode 40. Dinner. We'll have dinner in front of us. We'll
we'll come in costume. That'll be hilarious.
Bottle of wine.
So yeah, we'll do it. We'll do a fun thing for 40, and so great. Well, everybody, we're going to wrap it up here. Thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate your support, and as always, like, subscribe, all that great kind of stuff. Unfortunately, I look like this, which is not cool.
Your mic is showing.
I know. Oh God, let me zip up. As always, thanks to my buddy Max for playing. You're a great player. It's been a lot of fun, and go visit Max on his YouTube channel. You'll see the link right there, and where he discusses video games and music. Thanks always to Elliot Dunovitz for Brise's character art that we use every session. And you can go see more of her stuff at ArtStation under Tortolua. And I wrote a novel that I'm pretty happy about. You can go find it on Amazon and get yourself a copy of it. But as always, we're just pleased that you join us. We hope you enjoyed as much as we do. But seriously, this is one of my favorite things to do. Say goodbye to the nice people, Max.
Yes, Kevin said, pleased that you're here. We're tickled that we're here. All the good verbs, all that stuff. But yeah, thanks for showing up, and hope to see you next week for episode 40.
The big 4-0, right?
Yeah. Midlife crisis, Karandrin. Take a drastic change in career.
That's right.
Buy an expensive magic item.
Yeah, that's right. So, well, thanks everybody. We'll see you next week, Wednesday, and make sure you like and subscribe and check out all the other links. Send us a little money if you love us, and we will see you next week. Thanks, everybody.